I never expected 3 words on my phone screen to shake me more than any argument, breakup, or heartbreak ever had. Mom, can we talk? I need help. I was sitting alone in the kitchen, the house unusually quiet, my coffee already cold. I reread the message again and again, trying to understand what kind of help my son needed this time. Was he in trouble? Was he hurt? Had something gone wrong at school? Then another message came through. It's about my first time. My breath caught. For a moment, my mind scrambled for innocent explanations. His first time driving alone, his first job interview, his first big mistake. But deep down, I knew exactly what he meant. And suddenly, I wasn't a calm, experienced mother anymore. I was a woman remembering her own confusion, fear, and unanswered questions at that same age. I typed back slowly, choosing my words carefully. Of course, sweetheart, I'm here. Come home. 20 minutes later, the front door opened. Tyler stepped inside, hoodie pulled low, shoulders tense. He looked 18 on paper, but right then, he looked like the little boy who used to crawl into my bed after nightmares. He sat across from me on the couch, avoiding my eyes. I don't even know how to say this, he muttered. You already did, I said softly, and I'm proud of you. He swallowed hard. I think I'm ready to be with someone, but I'm scared. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want it to feel wrong. It was about fear, pressure, wanting to be good enough in a world that teaches boys everything except how to feel. I didn't interrupt him. I didn't panic. I just listened. Because sometimes the most important thing a parent can do is stay quiet long enough for the truth to come out. But then he asked me something so unexpected, so vulnerable, that I felt my heart stop for a second. And I knew this conversation was about to change both of us forever. Tyler took a deep breath, like he was about to jump into cold water. I don't want it to be awkward, he said, or empty. Everyone makes it sound like a big deal, but also like it doesn't matter at all. I don't know which one is true. I nodded slowly. That confusion, wanting meaning but fearing disappointment, was something I understood far too well. Both can be true, I said gently, but only if you let other people decide what it's supposed to mean. What matters is what you feel. He finally looked up at me then. His eyes were searching, almost pleading, not for answers, but for permission. Permission to be unsure. Permission to not have everything figured out. I don't even know how to talk about it with her, he admitted. What if I say the wrong thing? What if she thinks I'm weird or inexperienced? I leaned forward. Let me tell you something no one tells boys, I said. Being honest about not knowing everything doesn't make you weak. It makes you trustworthy. His shoulders relaxed a little. We talked about pressure, how movies, friends, and social media turn something personal into a performance, how they make it feel like a test you either pass or fail. I told him the truth I wish someone had told me years ago. The first time isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. He asked about boundaries, about consent, about how to tell if someone is comfortable without ruining the moment. I answered carefully, not like a lecture, but like a conversation between two people who respected each other. Checking in doesn't kill the mood, I said. It builds trust. And trust is what makes intimacy feel safe. He sat quietly for a moment processing. Then he asked, almost whispering, would it be stupid if I practiced how to say things out loud first? I blinked. Practiced? Yeah, like how to talk about feelings, about comfort, not the physical stuff, just the words. For a second, the room felt strangely still. This wasn't something I'd ever imagined doing as a parent, but I could see it clearly now. This was courage, not awkwardness. No, I said. It wouldn't be stupid at all. In fact, I realized something then. He wasn't asking me to teach him what to do. He was asking me to help him learn how to connect. So we did something I never thought I'd do with my 18-year-old son, and what happened next completely changed the way he saw relationships. At first, it felt awkward. We sat there, two people on opposite ends of the couch, trying to pretend this wasn't unusual. Tyler cleared his throat. Okay, he said, forcing a nervous laugh. This feels weird. That's because you're being brave, I replied. Brave usually feels weird. He took a moment, then tried again. So, how would I say something like, are you comfortable with this? Without sounding robotic? I smiled. You don't ask like you're reading a script. You ask like you care. We started slowly. I played the role of someone he cared about, not acting, just responding naturally. He practiced saying things like, is this okay? Tell me if you want to stop. I want you to feel safe. Each sentence came out hesitant at first, but gradually his voice steadied. The fear in his eyes softened into something else. Confidence, maybe, or relief. Then something unexpected happened. He started opening up, not just about this, but about everything around it. How he worried about disappointing people. How he felt pressure to act like a man, even when he didn't feel ready. How no one ever told him it was okay to take things slowly. I don't want to pretend, he said quietly. I just want to be real. My heart ached and swelled at the same time. That's exactly what real intimacy is, I told him. Not rushing, not proving anything, just showing up honestly. We even laughed, real laughter, when he stumbled over his words or overthought a simple sentence. The tension melted, replaced by warmth. For the first time since he walked in, he looked lighter. When we finally stopped, he exhaled deeply. I feel better, he said, like I'm not walking into something blind anymore. I nodded. That's because you're not. Over the next few days, I noticed a change in him. He wasn't louder or cockier, just calmer, more thoughtful, like someone who had found his footing in unfamiliar territory. Then one afternoon, he walked through the door with a small smile I hadn't seen before. I talked to her today, he said. My heart skipped. And we actually talked, he added, about feelings, like real ones. That's when I knew this wasn't just a conversation anymore. It was a turning point. But what he brought home a few days later, something small, quiet, and deeply responsible, showed me just how much he had grown. A few evenings later, Tyler knocked on my bedroom door. Not barged in, not texted, knocked. That alone told me something was different. He stepped inside slowly, holding a small box in his hands like it weighed 100 pounds. He didn't sit down right away, just stood there, shifting his weight from one foot to the other. I bought these, he said, extending the box toward me. I didn't need to open it to know what it was. I'm not saying I'm ready, he rushed to add. I just didn't want to be careless when the time comes. I took the box, nodded once, and handed it back to him. That, I said, is responsibility. And responsibility is attractive. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. His face relaxed, and a shy smile appeared. I talked to Emma again, he said. We set boundaries, like actual ones. No pressure. I felt something tighten in my chest, in a good way. That takes maturity, I told him. Most adults never learn how to do that. Over the next few days, I noticed more changes. He was more present, more patient, less glued to his phone, but more intentional when he used it. When he laughed, it sounded lighter, like he wasn't performing for anyone anymore. One night, as I passed his room, I overheard his voice through the slightly open door. I didn't mean to listen, but I caught a few words. I want you to feel comfortable. We can take our time. Just tell me what you're feeling. I kept walking, my eyes burning. Not because I was worried, but because I was proud. Later that night, he came into the kitchen for water. Before heading back to his room, he stopped and hugged me. Not the quick, awkward hug I'd grown used to, a real one. "Thanks, Mom," he whispered, "for not making me feel stupid." I hugged him back, holding on a second longer than usual. That night, I lay awake thinking about how close this moment had come to going wrong, how easily fear or discomfort could have pushed him away. Instead, trust had pulled him closer. And just when I thought this journey was slowing down, he came home one evening with a smile that told me something had changed forever. He came home late that evening, later than usual. I was in the living room pretending to read, though my mind had wandered far from the page. When the door opened, I looked up and immediately knew something was different. Tyler was smiling. Not the excited, over-the-top kind, the quiet kind that comes from feeling understood. He dropped his keys on the table and sat beside me. "I think I'm falling for her," he said. I studied his face before responding. "And how does that make you feel?" "Calm," he said after a moment. "Not rushed, not pressured, just steady." I smiled. "That's how you know it's real." He told me about the way they talked for hours, about music, fears, dreams, how being close didn't always mean touching, how sometimes they just sat together, comfortable in the silence. "It's not even about the physical stuff anymore," he admitted. "It's like I can actually be myself." That was when it hit me. What started as a conversation about his first time had quietly transformed into something far more important, his first experience with emotional honesty. Weeks passed. Life returned to its usual rhythm, but something fundamental had shifted. Tyler moved through the world with more awareness, more kindness. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. He was learning how to connect. One night, after he went to bed, I sat alone and thought about how easily the story could have ended differently. How a dismissive reaction, an awkward joke, or visible discomfort could have closed the door forever. Instead, it opened something sacred. I realized then that being a parent isn't about controlling outcomes. It's about being the safe place your child runs to before the world teaches them the wrong lessons. But the moment that truly stayed with me, the one that still makes my chest tighten, came on an ordinary night in the quietest possible way. It was late and the house was quiet again, the kind of quiet that feels full instead of lonely. I was lying in bed when I heard soft footsteps in the hallway. A moment later, Tyler stood in the doorway. "Hey," he said quietly, "I just wanted to say goodnight." He walked over and hugged me, not rushed, not awkward, just warm and genuine. And in that simple moment, I understood something deeply. This was what trust looked like. Not big speeches, not perfect parenting, just being present when it mattered most. Later, as I stared at the ceiling, my mind drifted back to that first message on my phone. "Mom, can we talk?" So many parents are afraid of that question, afraid of what it might open, afraid of saying the wrong thing, afraid of crossing invisible lines. But silence teaches children to look elsewhere for answers, often in places that don't care about their hearts. I didn't laugh. I didn't judge. I didn't panic. I listened. And because of that, my son didn't step into adulthood through secrecy or shame, but through honesty, respect, and emotional safety. A few days later, he said something that sealed it all. "No matter what happens with Emma," he told me, "I know how I want to treat people now, and how I want to be treated." That's when I realized this story was never really about his first time. It was about his first lesson in love. And mine, too. Because being a parent isn't about shielding your child from the world. It's about standing beside them while they learn how to face it. And honestly, I wouldn't change a thing.